So let's imagine this. You just got an offer on your home and it feels exciting. It's one step closer to getting to the closing table, but here's the actual truth. The deal isn't done until keys are handed over. In fact, actually 1 in 4 real estate deals fall apart after going under contract. So today, I'm breaking down the top 5 reasons buyers cancel their home sale, and more importantly, how you can protect yourself and your sale. Let me tell you about one of our sellers that we worked with last year. We were thrilled to have accepted a clean, full-priced offer with no delays. Everything looked great until it came down to the inspection report after they did their inspection. The buyer flagged issues, they got cold feet, and within 48 hours, the deal was dead. But here's the good news. We didn't give up, we learned from it. We got a pre-listing inspection, made a couple of smart repairs, priced it strategically, and I think it was like 6 weeks later, we were able to close with another buyer. That experience taught me something powerful. Most failed transactions or sales aren't bad luck, or they usually aren't bad luck. They're mostly preventable. And now I'm sharing those lessons with you. So key point number 1, inspection surprises. Home inspections are one of the most common deal breakers. Typically, home buyers aren't gonna want big issues to come out. We're talking about issues like foundation, HVAC, roof replacements, anything that's going to cost them a lot of money. Typically, that's where you start having issues with the transaction. Not necessarily issues, but usually there's some sort of negotiation that happens during that time. That way, both buyers and sellers can feel good about moving forward. That's why getting a pre-listing inspection can be a smart move, only because it gives you an idea of what needs to be fixed, or it gives you the opportunity to be able to price it appropriately so that the home can sell, and all those issues can be addressed before actually listing the home. Key point number 2, financing falling through. Even after a buyer gets a pre-approval, buyers can lose their financing. Some things that have happened in the past or that I've heard of is either buyers opening up a new line of credit during the process, they take on new debt, or the lender's underwriter spots red flags. I had one case where a client was under contract and they decided to go ahead and purchase furniture beforehand. We were still able to close, but since they had their credit run to get that furniture, their credit score dropped and they had to kind of move things around to make it work. But simple things like that, or buying a car, trading in a car and getting a car that's a little bit more expensive, all those things can cause a transaction to fall through. And as a seller, you can protect yourself by requiring strong pre-approval letter from the buyer's lender, reviewing the buyer's qualifications. Me as the agent, whenever we get an offer, I typically try to connect with the lender and ask them important questions just to feel them out and make sure that the seller is getting the strongest offer possible from this particular buyer. So just having a strong agent that does that for you as well can definitely help keep things on track. Key point number 3, low appraisals. Typically when you're getting a loan, the lender orders an appraisal for the home just to make sure that the value is there. That way the lender can give you the full amount for the purchase. So if the appraiser says that the home isn't worth what the buyer offered, then the lender won't cover the difference. And unless the buyer can really come out of pocket for that difference to continue with the purchase, or the seller agree to lower the price, usually the deal can stall or it even can fall through if we can't come to terms. That's why it's very important to try to list a home correctly up front, and again to have a good agent that's running the correct comps. That way there's less risk of you having issues with those low appraisals. Key point number 4, cold feet or buyer's remorse. So not every cancellation or termination of the contract is about money. Sometimes it comes down to emotion. A buyer could panic, spooked by the commitment of the mortgage, or they just get cold feet because they're seeing that the transaction is going to be too expensive, or something as simple as they find another home that they like better or maybe fits their needs a little bit better. You can't really prevent buyer's remorse, but you can reduce the risk by keeping communication open with the other side, setting clear timelines and expectations, and working with a solid agent who can keep the deal on track. Key point number 5, too many contingencies. Contingencies just means that there's additional ifs or buts that come with an offer. Typical contingencies that we see are coming from buyers is if they need to sell their home, so they put a contingency on the seller of their house, or they need a huge amount of due diligence period, or the period that you do your inspections, or something where you have a contingency where the loan approval can take 6-8 weeks. So there's a couple of things that can happen with those contingencies, one of which more contingencies means more chances of backing out. That's why I work closely with sellers to evaluate not just the offer price, but the strength and the speed of the terms. A slightly lower offer with fewer strings attached is often better than a high-risk bid. And that just means that, let's say if somebody comes in just a little bit lower and they don't need to sell their house and they're able to close in 30 days compared to somebody that's maybe offering, 5-10K more, but they still need to sell their house, and depending on the market, that could take them 30, 60, 90 days, which kind of moves our timeline. So having an agent that kind of looks at all of that really strengthens the possibilities of everything going smoothly to closing. So getting under contract is super exciting, but remember, it's only step one. If you want to close strong, it starts by setting up your home and your offer terms up for success. So if you're planning on selling, let's talk. I'll help you prepare your home, review offers wisely, and avoid the most common deal breakers that derail the sale.